Looking pretty snazzy, yeah? So she's all buttoned up with the only thing left to do on this engine, aside from the obvious plug wires and all that, is I have to go through these carburetors. I've already got the gaskets and all of the things we need to do. I've got all of the bits and pieces, and next week we'll go through them and we'll do step by step how we're going to set these up. And other than that, that's the engine itself is pretty much good to go. Transmission is next. So this is a big block 727 housing and a case, and we've got another 727, a fresh 727, but it's a small block, so we're going to swap all of the parts over from one to the other one night this week. And Sledgehammer should be a running car within the next 2 weeks or so, by the end of May. Right? This is exciting. I'm getting stoked about this. But that's not what this video is about. And it's somewhat about motorcycles, and I know right away I get you guys, you know, some of you, not all of you, obviously not all of you, most of you see things kind of the way I do, right? But you get some of these guys, that's not why we watched you, you're slipping, you're doing stuff, and unsubscribe, I don't want to see motorcycles. Now, you know what, okay, now, you know, you don't have to watch every single video that we do. Now, if you see a topic that you don't like, just go right past it, okay? And then we'll have one that you'll like in a day or two. So, you know, what am I gonna do? You can't make everybody happy. And if you try, you just end up with a miserable everything, okay? So while the topic today is about motorcycles, it's not really about motorcycles, it's more about things that are happening in the world. And a lot of extremely crazy things are happening in the world. And for some of us, it's not unexpected. We've been there for a long time now. And the only thing I say is, if you know, you know. And leave it at that. And don't even bring it up in the comments, right? And you know why, okay? If you know, you know. And if you don't, you're in the process of finding out, and you're definitely going to be finding out more in the very near future. The world is different. The world is changing. We're not going back to the way things were. And that's not a negative statement, right? A lot of people would take that as being a doom thing, right? Oh, that's the end of the world as we know it. Well, it is the end of the world as we know it. But that's not a bad thing entirely, okay? But things are going to be rough for the next several years. The next 3 to 5 years, really rough. And this isn't like, you know, conspiracy or something I'm just speculating on. It's a mathematical certainty. It's baked in the cake. And the things that are happening right now, the things that are happening in the world and in the economy, and none of it is accidental. None of it is coincidence. And it's just going to keep ramping up. It's just going to keep accelerating. This is all by design. It was all planned a long time ago. So there's no going back from this. You know, nothing. There's a phrase, okay, some of you, and again, see, if you know, you know. Nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing, right? You know the phrase? Okay, keep it to yourself. So how does this tie into motorcycles? What does this have to do with the price of tea in China? Ironic, right? The price of tea in China. Well, it has to do with two channels that I watch frequently, and I enjoy both of these guys. I think they have great insight. I think they have great commentary. I just like to watch them. And usually, at the end of the night, I'll run both of these guys back to back. They both do daily videos. And one of them is Dan from I Allegedly. Dan is so soothing, right? I love the way he does his videos. And the other guy, his name is Jeremiah Babe. Both of these guys they're from California, from the West Coast, which is seeing, you know, the thing is, in this country, and it's been tradition, things start in California and work their way, you know, east rather. So they're kind of seeing ground zero right now for some of the insanity that's going on. And but like I says, I enjoy both of these guys. And ironically enough, last night I'm watching both of them. Okay, one after the other. I'm watching both of them, and they're both saying, time to get rid of your motorcycles. Right? Not meaning that they're not saying anything against motorcycles per se. They're saying, what they're saying is, given the economic turmoil that is in the process of evolving, or the situation that is devolving, most people think of motorcycles as a toy, like a boat, a jet ski, a motorcycle, right? A vacation house, right? It's all, these are all like luxuries, okay? And that was the context that these guys meant it in. But being a car guy, a gearhead, a motorcycle guy myself, I hear that completely differently. So now again, not sounding doom and gloom, all right, but being a realist about stuff. As things continue on the path that they're on, the only way, the best way that I could see the average guy, right? And we've always done this channel for the average guy, and I consider myself to be the average guy. I have a lot of experience with things, but I'm still just an average guy. The best, almost the only way for the average guy in the foreseeable future to enjoy the gearhead, hot rodding, burning rubber, mechanical toy lifestyle that we thrive on, right? We live for this. The best way is going to be through motorcycles. I mean, and a lot of you guys are going to disagree with this, right? But there is no cheaper way, there is no more efficient way to enjoy the mechanical lifestyle than through motorcycles. I started accumulating bikes back in September of last year. I bought well, let's start off with the one I really want, okay? So I picked up that 02 883R, right? Because it was just a bike that I wanted. It's nothing special, it's a turd. But it's something, there's just something about that bike. There's something about its character, there's something about its demeanor, whatever it happens to be, its look, that I just love. So I said, I'm gonna buy that. And then I picked up that Buell Blast, right? Which I've been riding regularly. And if let me tell you something, okay? People look down on those bikes. If you get on one of those bikes and send it down a twisty road, okay, and that thing just doesn't put the biggest smile on your face, you're dead inside, okay? You have nothing left. You're hollow, okay? It is the most fun, personable, responsive bike I have ever owned, and I've owned hundreds. So I picked that up. And then I picked up that 61 Sportster, right? Which is, you talk about an Armageddon machine. You know, this thing doesn't even have a battery. Magneto, kick only, right? You know, it's just rude, crude, old, right? And it's got a ton of character. So I thought, okay, got to add that to the fleet. So with the way things have been accelerating, devolving, economically, socially, geopolitically, the way things are devolving, I said to myself recently, I says, you know what? Start accelerating your accumulation of the things you need or the things you want. And that's what I've been doing now. Over the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I bought 3 more motorcycles. And I'll get to those in a minute. Because one of the situations that we're dealing with is inflation. And inflation is basically, on the surface, it's the prices of things are going up, but in reality, it's a devaluation of the currency. And so at this stage of the game, during an inflationary blow-off like we're experiencing now, and we are going to experience big time in the very near future, get rid of the currency, trade the currency for stuff that has value. And that's what I've been doing. So I know there's precious metals, there's all sorts of things you can do that are all hedges against inflation and hyperinflation. And I've already covered all those bases. So at this stage of the game, I'm like, you know what? Now I want to secure my lifestyle. My lifestyle is that I have fun every day. I get paid to wake up in the morning and go play with my toys, play with machinery, right? And have fun. And this is what I do. And I'm going to make sure that nothing is going to come between me and that lifestyle that I've worked so hard to achieve. So, you know, is gas $5 a gallon? Is it $6 a gallon? Is it $20 a gallon? Is it $30 a gallon? You know what? If it's 30 bucks a gallon, I'll deal with that because I have a Super Cub at the house that gets 120 miles to the gallon. I forgot about adding the Super Cub. That gets 120 miles to the gallon. I can go joyride all day and night long if I want on that thing, and it's not going to cost me anything. Gas is 20, 30 bucks a gallon. And it's kind of like the same thing with this little Buell, 70 miles to the gallon, no problem, right? And it's fun. And I can clutch wheelie it, and I can lean it way over, and I can, it's just a blast. They call it a Buell blast. It is a blast, right? 70 miles to the gallon. I can have fun with that all day long, right? For next to nothing. So, I'm not trying to be a salesman for the idea of motorcycles, but I want to make you guys aware of what you can get into and how you can hedge your lifestyle. See, people are always concerned about hedging their investments or hedging their but it's your lifestyle. Things that put a smile on your face. Internal combustion, right? Banging gears, revving stuff to valve float, popping a clutch, right? All of these things that we love. Well, motorcycles are the most efficient and effective way to do that going forward, right? You don't have to worry about anything. Well, I'm not saying you don't have to worry about anything. There's lots of things to worry about, but in the terms of what we deal with, in the context of what we deal with, there's nothing to worry about as long as you got a couple of bikes. You've got your fuel mileage, and you've got your fun, and you've got your transportation, and you've got something that people are going to want. Motorcycles, two-wheel transportation, as times move forward, as things go forward, two-wheel transportation is going to become an essential part of our lifestyle. I know it's hard to envision that right now, but there are changes happening. There is no way to reverse this. We're going there, guys. We're going there. So motorcycles right now are a fantastic investment. Let me show you two that I picked up. So let me explain, right? I want a very well-rounded fleet. I want a motorcycle for every occasion and for every mood that I happen to be in, okay? So I'm buying in priority. Does that make any sense? I'm just buying in priority. And I'm buying opportunistically. When things pop up, I grab them. So on Facebook Marketplace, now I don't have the bike here. I think we have a picture of it. I don't have the bike here because I gave it to my kid. So I pick up a 2001 XV250, which is the little Yamaha. It's a Virago 250 and a V-Star 250. Beginner's bike, right? Cute little thing, really cute little thing. They're beautiful, actually, right? Just scaled down a little bit. I picked this thing up on Marketplace for 400 bucks. It was sitting on the side of the guy's house. It was relatively clean. I needed to throw a battery in it and take the carburetor apart, go through the carburetor. I did that, got it running, rode it around for a couple of days, and then I gave it to my kid. Because I want to start getting them, my kid and Uncle Crystal, I want to start getting them accustomed to the idea of perhaps maybe you may need to use some very economically, fuel, I can't even say it. See, I'm having a stroke. Something very economical to get around town with. So I gave them that bike. 450 bucks. My total investment in it is under $500. And it's a 75 mile per gallon bike that it'll get you on the interstate if you need to. It's not the happiest thing on the interstate, but it'll get you there if you need to. All right. So then I says, well, let me keep searching through Marketplace and see what pops up, if anything cool grabs my eye or whatever. So this thing, okay, this thing pops up. I'm going to show you this bike, okay? So this is like a jewel of UJM. Again, Facebook Marketplace, I paid $450 for this bike. I brought it home. It's an 82 Suzuki GS 550L. It's an absolute jewel. So it didn't look like this when I brought it home. It was covered with dust and dirt, grime, from sitting for long periods of time. So I paid $450 for this bike. That seems to be the magic number. Brought it home, threw a battery in it, went through the carburetors. runs and rides as clean, as perfect as it looks. I'm going to show you, look at the details on this. Look at the details on this. Look at this. Okay, this bike is like museum quality. This thing has never seen a drop of rain in its life, right? It's perfect. So what's the purpose for this bike? Man, it's just a cool bike to have. It's a great rider. You get on it, you know, you can commute on this, or you could use it as a toy. You could go styling at Cars and Coffee, whatever it happens to be. You just don't see them like this. And I love the bike. I love everything about it. It does have a bad CDI unit. I've got a CDI unit on order. I'll have it next week. It runs fine, but occasionally it won't start. When it won't start, it has no spark. It's the CDI. So I could convert it to points, and at some point I probably will convert it to points, but the bike is so perfect and so original, I want to give it a chance to go with the original wiring that's in it. So yeah, my total investment in this bike, after the CDI and the battery, about 700 bucks is what I'll be into this thing for. And again, you're talking about something that I get 50, 55 miles to the gallon. It'll run a 13-second quarter mile. And I mean, just look at this. Look here, look at these pipes. Look at these pipes. Okay? Perfection. It's never been in the rain, right? So I bought that and I love it. So, gotta keep looking. I hit Facebook Marketplace again, okay? And, oh God, this thing pops up. Boom! All right. So, sometimes you just want to be the loudest, most obnoxious dickhead in the group. And there it is. You want to be that guy, okay? There's the bike to be that guy with. So this thing pops up on Facebook Marketplace. It has tons, it's got these freaking apes on it. It's got tons of chrome, tons of like, just you name it, as an accessory. It's a 93 Shadow. If there's something they could stick on here that was like just gaudy and obnoxious, and look at this paint, right? They did. So what happened was, this is so over the top. Totally not my style, right? Like that's my style, right? You know, it's like, you know, that's me, right? But there's a side of me that is this. So the story with this bike is that it was on Marketplace for 200 bucks, right? A kid bought this thing, brought it to a local motorcycle shop. They took it apart. They claimed that they couldn't find the parts to put it back together again. And so they handed it back to him in boxes and charged him $1,000 for taking it apart. All right, you know, I wasn't there. I wasn't part of this transaction, but I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, he wants 200 bucks for this bike. Well, there's 200 bucks worth of chrome right there. You know what I mean? There's the money back. So I says, you know, fine. So I give him the 200 bucks for the bike, and I get literally every single thing. About a basket case. Here's all of the stuff that came off of this bike. So I'm going to put this together. This is something I don't see myself using it often, but like I said, sometimes you just want to be loud and obnoxious, and you know, just, well, there it is, loud and obnoxious. So we'll go through this motor. I know a lot of you guys, a lot of car guys, the insides of motorcycle engine are like mysterious. You know what I mean? It's like, because you get your engine and your transmission packed all in there, and it's like, what goes on? So this could be an interesting series, putting this engine together. And then we may have a surprise. I may have something a little off the wall I'm going to do with this, but one step at a time. I don't want to get too involved in it yet. So this is what I'm doing. I'm accumulating motorcycles so that I can continue my lifestyle, the enjoyment of my daily life, regardless of what happens, regardless of what shortages, regardless of what chaos, weirdness, unless I take a missile to the head, okay? You know, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep enjoying myself, and I'm going to thrive. And the idea here, right, and this is important for you guys, because a lot of guys are like, you know, they get very defeated. They have a defeatist attitude. They have a negative attitude. Let me tell you something. The crazier things get out there, right? The more people with your skills and your mindset and your abilities are going to go right to the top. Don't worry about surviving this. You have no, if you're a mechanic, you're a gearhead, you got your tools, you got your ambition, you got some drive, you got just a couple of active things, brain cells between your ears, you won't survive. You're going to thrive. And we're going to all do this together. Okay. So that's it. I'm still looking for, I need at least 2 more bikes to finish it out, to finish out my, you know, my quest, right? I need like a garbage scow. I need like the typical like rat cop bike type of thing with a windshield and bags and all that other for bad weather riding. Because I used to ride year round. You know, winter never bothered me. I used to be out on a motorcycle in a leather jacket and a t-shirt in the snow, right? Never fazed me. I'm a little bit older, you know what I'm saying? So I need something that's got like a windshield and bags and stuff like that, so that when it starts getting really cold out, I can jump on that thing and not freeze my cojones off, and not care that I'm riding it through puddles and snow and gack and slush and everything else, right? So I'm looking for one of those, and I need something that's terrifying. And I don't know what I want yet. Like there's a spectrum of super bikes that changes. Every time I think about it, it changes. My idea changes. So I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna, but whatever it is, it's got to be something that's just like, you know, you lay into it, and that's like, you know, it's like you right? That's, so don't know what I want yet, but I'll find it. So that's it, guys. You know, like I said, I'm sorry if this wasn't the type of content that you tune in to us for. You know what I mean? Don't worry, we'll do more of that type of content tomorrow. But more than usual, right? I sincerely hope you got something out of that. And I'll see you tomorrow.